Hey, we're live. How is everybody today? This is Eve, author of Detox the Body. Okay, is my screen smudgy? Crap. All right. Hold on. How's everybody doing today? I hope you're feeling well. I'm feeling good. Even though it's election day here in Washington, D.C. I live right down the road from the White House. So hopefully things don't get too crazy. Got that crazy afternoon glare behind me. Let's do this. All right. So today I want to talk about how to cure incurable illnesses with detoxing. So what I learned when I was sick is that, I'll use this like I did the other time. I'll use my book so I can remember what it looks like. All right. Glare. There. Over here it's not glary. Okay, that'll be all right. What I learned when I was sick and getting well from chemical sensitivity, this is my book, Detox with Ease. You can get it on Amazon. Just have to key in my last name. Hennessa. I learned that, really one incurable illness is like another. I mean, some are more complicated than others, and I do believe that chemical sensitivity is one of the more complicated, difficult illnesses to cure. When I first got it, I could not find anyone who had ever been healed of it. I knew Sherry Rogers, but she 30 years later was still wearing a mask out to go in public. So I knew that was not, I mean, she was doing good. She can go out in public, but she, wasn't really healed. So she was like the best, my number one person. And I got a lot of my stuff from her because she got way better, but she was much more sick than I was. I was so sick, I couldn't really go anywhere because I would always react to people's perfumes, the cleaning stuff. If somebody was doing laundry, you could smell that fabric softener wafting. Basically anything that was any kind of chemical in nature. I could smell it a lot, just like most people can who have this illness. So mine was really bad. I coughed a lot. I developed asthma. I was very tired. I was had a lot of irritability. I had a ton of brain fog. I was just kind of super spaced out for most of the day, and I couldn't really get anything done. Back then I remember thinking like, I'll go to the dollar store, and that would kind of be like something I did that day, and I would run in, grab something, and run out. Also didn't have any money, wasn't really working, of course, and just every money that I had I spent on organic stuff or getting organic paint, whatever. It was very expensive. Organic clothes, very expensive to have multiple chemical sensitivity. But so I would read every single day. I was very tired, so just lay in bed and read. And I was like, oh, I have this illness, I have that other illness. It seemed like I had all these other illnesses too: chronic fatigue, depression, different kind of gastrointestinal things. I thought I had a tapeworm. I had all the symptoms except for being like excessively skinny, but I was pretty thin. But the symptoms of tapeworm is malnutrition. So I had all of the symptoms of somebody that was being malnourished, which generally, if we have a chronic illness, we are not assimilating our food properly. I mean, that's one of the elements. There's a lot of different elements, and I had to heal them all. And so, I'll just go through some of them and what I had to do. Oh, and don't forget to smash the likes. And if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe and the bell button and all. That way you can be informed of when these important updates and live streams come out, and you can come ask all of your questions. You can ask questions about other health-related or wellness things if you like. So yeah, let's say, so I had all the symptoms of malnutrition, even though I ate very well. I always ate at Whole Foods. I was very healthy. But I had those symptoms. So One of the elements of my illness was definitely leaky gut, which I think probably at least 90% of people that have a chronic illness must have leaky gut, because it's a very common thing, and it leads to just about any illness because you're not getting nutrition from your food. And also with leaky gut, toxins are leaking out into your body. So what happens is that your intestines are pretty delicate, and they can get a lot of kind of holes and perforations in them. They're this kind of interesting material. And so what happens is, your food, it doesn't get digested properly, and it can actually like leak into your blood, especially, the toxins and whatnot. So you're not able to properly digest your food, assimilate it, and get the nutrition from it, but yet you're getting toxins. So I think it's very common with chemical sensitivity, and I think that's true because I was very toxic. I think it's one of the elements of toxicity and chemical sensitivity. And I honestly feel like chemical sensitivity is your body saying no more toxins. So you develop a hypersensitivity to toxins. Like I could smell somebody's deodorant 5 feet away, literally. I couldn't be in a house with a bar of Dove soap in it. I remember I visited my parents, they had a bar of Dove in the bathroom, and I could not, it would, I could smell it, like it was like it was under my nose, and I could smell the toxins in it. So I think it's your body saying no more toxins. And probably one of the reasons is that maybe you have a leaky gut. So that's a big, long healing process. Number one, what I would do is stop eating any GMO food. I do believe that GMOs do compromise the gut. And also they use tons of pesticides, this Roundup, which I think is, when people say, oh, if you eat corn or if you eat meat, you're going to die more than people that don't eat meat. Well, basically, if you eat meat, that animal was fed on this GMO corn, unless you get the really good stuff. So, if you're eating just conventional meat, you're actually getting a lot of this GMO ingredients into your body. And so I actually stopped eating wheat at one point. I think that wheat also causes inflammation in the gut. Probiotics are amazing. I used to take probiotic pills. And now what I do is I make some cabbage, fermented cabbage. This thing called cortito, that's a Salvadorian food. I don't like sauerkraut. I don't like sour food. But you can make sauerkraut. You can just make cabbage, ferment it. But you don't have to get it real fermented. You could just get it a little fermented. That's how I like mine. The more probiotics, the better it is for your body. But if you don't like it, you're not going to eat it. So that's not going to do you any good. I always say go for the food that tastes good. I never give any like prescriptions, how much, of this, how much of that, because really it's just up to your taste buds. Like say with like apple cider vinegar and water, or any of these other things. I mean, besides not being a doctor, I'm not a doctor at all. It's just that, each person is different. And sometimes I do believe it only takes a little bit of something to help you go in the right direction. So any kind of probiotics, that's kind of a given. So also stress, super bad for your digestion. If you will know, many of us get a stomach ache when we get stressed out. I did later have H. pylori, which I think could also have been a cause of my chronic illness, when I do believe is a cause of many chronic illnesses. 50% of people worldwide have this bacteria, and it's a very persistent bacteria. It's one of the things I couldn't cure myself. I went and did the antibiotics, and the antibiotics were so strong that I really did go to the ER with the symptoms. Like I thought I was dying, and I had all the symptoms that said, from the antibiotics, because it was like 2 antibiotics and 1 something else. If you have this symptom, go to the ER. So I was like, oh, I did end up taking it, and it did work, but sometimes I will still get a pain there. So I think the H. pylori is such a persistent bacteria. A lot of times it doesn't go away with antibiotics. It's very hard to make it go away with natural stuff. I'm a firm believer in cabbage, though, since I did the cabbage, and then no stress, because the stress, I don't know exactly what it does to your gut, but it really affects it in a bad way. And your whole body, but especially the gut. a knot in your stomach. So part of healing a chronic illness, besides dealing with your gut, is dealing with your emotions. So if I have a knot in my stomach, if I have people in my life who are actually kind of mean, and I didn't really notice it until my stomach kept hurting whenever they would start yelling at me, or they would say I was yelling at them, all that stuff, that crazy relationship stuff. Could even be with, friends. Like this was like, I think a person who was a friend at that point. You gotta go. I'm just barreling through this, right? Because I don't want to be boring, I can sit here and chit chat if people ask questions, but I'm just trying to barrel through my information. I'm like an ADD. I like all the information to come fast. So stress and emotions. So many people, the Chinese, many, amazing medical people from all, times in history have said that the emotions can cause or exacerbate any illness. So you got to look into that, especially people that stress you out or frustrate you, or if you are very resentful. I'm like the angry type. I really am. I get so mad and I get resentful, like, I don't know about you, but still it's a struggle, but when you are resentful or angry, it's actually like eating away at your own body. That's why if you have, I used to live in Mexico too, and they would be like, they would say angry, they would just say, they would just call it like liver problem. It wouldn't even be angry, So, in a lot of ancient history, that emotions are associated with different parts of the body, and our liver is known as our main detox organ. So you don't want to clog up our liver being angry and resentful. So, we got to do what we got to do, find a way to lessen all that stuff. And I'm a huge, firm believer in different kinds of meditation, different kinds of relaxation. I feel like that's one of the main keys to all healing. And that's really self-love. You're like, you know what, I don't have to stress myself out trying to please these people or work so hard or be a great mother or whatever it is that you think that you should be in life. Sometimes you just have to really, take really good care of yourself and let yourself relax, let yourself take time to do these meditations, guided meditation, self-hypnosis. Any kind of meditation you can do is good. I do like shamanic meditation with drum journeys, and I used to do a lot of creative visualization, and I'm always doing one kind or another. Sometimes I'll just do the plain listening meditation. But so, really, if you have a chronic illness, a lot of times, they say, oh, this thing is eating away at you, if you have cancer or something like that. Or with chemical sensitivity, I think it's a lot of fear and not feeling safe in the world, which that made perfect sense because everywhere you go, there's things that can hurt you and your health. And I definitely can relate to that feeling. I grew up with very angry people and people who didn't really make sense. So it did correlate, So I just really doing healing I can and just try to feel like, I am safe, or whatever your approach is. So many approaches to that kind of healing. To just feel safe, to feel good, and just to get your body in a relaxation state. And then you're gonna learn to be relaxed. Then you're gonna become mindful, and then you're gonna not, like, if I go back to 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and I had a chemical sensitivity, like I remember back then I was really stressed out. I used to really stress out over money. And I would really have, drama relationships. And now sometimes I do have some drama, but I really try to not get in there, I just go, oh, there's another drama relationship or a drama moment, Now it's more just drama moments. And try to do the best I can with that, but to notice it, it's not just a way of life for me. And stressing and worrying and trying to be perfect and feeling all those insecurities and all those, things, you just work on those. Whatever is your most glaring emotional thing that makes you not feel good, you can just try to, lessen that thing, and then you'll just automatically feel better, and it's healing. This is a very important part of healing a chronic illness. I was talking to somebody today. She's going to be a guest on the show next Thursday. I think not this one, but the one after. But she healed herself from type 2 diabetes, and she also used to weigh 200 pounds, and she's this gorgeous, amazing, healthy woman. And so we were talking about how when you're healing an illness like that, a very serious, incurable illness, it takes a lot, I was just saying how it takes self-love, because you have to put yourself first. Like if you have a chronic illness, especially one that's you're going to die from, like I was dying with chemical sensitivity. If your body's getting sicker and sicker and sicker, like that's dying. I mean, maybe it will take 5 years, 10 years, 20, 30, but it's still, you're getting worse and worse. Like that's just not cool. Or maybe you have one that's killing you faster. But a lot of people, they won't even take time for themselves. They're like, well, I'm too busy. I have all this work to do. These people are counting on me. I got to write my thank you letters. My kids need me, my husband, my wife, etc. And it's like, when you get to that moment of, this is all you have, is like, you're you. That's really what we're given when we come into this world. Nobody was born to live somebody else's life. Like we're all, and all the religious texts never really talk about do a million things for other people. Although it says, of course, do things, but it doesn't say live their life or put them first. Like there's no one that says that. It says, like love your neighbor as yourself. So you got to love yourself. If you don't love yourself, you're not going to even love your neighbor. You're going to be too sick and too broke. You're going to be like, slaving away. So it's like an act of self-love, to say like, okay, I am putting my time in myself and my healing. No matter if people think it's all in my head, no matter if people think I shouldn't have eaten so many sweets to get sick, no matter if people said you shouldn't have done all those drugs or whatever you did. It doesn't matter, because sometimes there would be those people around you, like you don't deserve to take all that time for your healing because they want you to be serving them, So you got to, at least I did, stop, serve yourself. Number one is your body. That's it. Once you make that decision, my body, my health is the number one, then I really believe that's, you're going to turn around. And it might take a little time. It might take a long time. Like we all are different. We all are just different, and all of our conditions are different. So, but I do feel that, you probably get well. I mean, people have gotten well from everything. Every single thing people have gotten well from, and they have recovered from. And, nobody's grown back a new arm, but that's not a chronic illness. That's an accident, So you could be that one person. Like I wanted to be that one person, even though I didn't even know anyone when I got sick. There was no person that got healed from it. And if you go in the message boards, people will say, oh, you have this gene. Oh, your liver doesn't detox. Oh, it's permanent brain damage, permanent organ damage. Like that's what I heard. And I'm here to tell you that it's not true. I did actually, I will tell you about that another time. It was a little controversial, but I did a 4-day fast with the Ojibwe Native Americans up in Canada, call them First Nations, some people. And we did a 4-day fast with no food and no water. So when I had this detox problem, I was like, there's my liver, there's my kidneys, I need water. But there wasn't an option to do it with water. So I was like, I snuck my water in. I was like, well, I'll just drink my water and do whatever. But it turns out that I didn't really need the water, and I would kind of check my skin to see if I was dehydrated. And they would also come in and check on us. We'd be in a tent for 4 days all alone. It's an amazing thing if you like that kind of thing, which I did at the time. And so actually, I think it was very healing. Now all this is coming out that fasting creates these healing states in your body. And if you look up dry fast, people do this in Russia for healing. It's what I did, and I was fine. I wasn't even all that thirsty. So I think it was, the spiritual environment, the whatever it was. Of course, you can't just sit home and not drink. But I'm just saying that I was like, oh, I can't do that. I have organ damage. Like my kidneys are terrible. My adrenals, my liver. There's no way that I would be able to do such a thing. But I did do it, and I was totally fine. And after that, I really was healing even more. Like, I think it was a turnaround point. They have since done studies saying a 3-day fast, Harvard study, a 3-day fast will like reboot your immune system. So I think a lot of that fasting I was drawn to. I fasted several times, but the ones before we got like a couple of quarts of water and stuff like that. Because I was like, oh no, I can't, I would get extra water. It just depends on who you're doing it with. The first people we were doing it with, we did water, but not too much water. So I think you get drawn on your healing path. Like once you decide I'm going to heal, I wasn't really doing that exactly for healing. It's just what I was into at the time. But it was amazing, when you do this fast, you realize like how strong your body is, how strong you are. And so I just want to say, you know what? I was not permanent damage. So when you go on these message boards, you have all your other friends in your groups, and everyone's freaking out because of course you're freaking out. I mean, if you have this any kind of awful illness, like it's constant. You don't just forget about it. There's always something. If you're a chemical sensitivity, there's always something threatening you, which is, I saw on a board today, like I have to go to the doctor. I can't go into the medical clinic. I used to couldn't go in a medical clinic, like that floor stuff. Oh my God, awful. I used to have appointments and I would always be waiting outside in the I wouldn't be sitting in lobbies or anything like that. I'd be like, oh, I'll be outside. You can call me. I used to have my windows open 365 days a year. And anyway, it was so terrible. It was terrible. So, as you know, I'm not trying to put it down like, hey, you're okay. No, like, of course you're going to be freaking out. And it's very scary to be dying and have your body completely out of control in a bad way. Like, it's scary because you can't, it's your body and it's not cooperating. I have to say with my H. pylori that I was having last year, I didn't unplug my phone. I was having issues with that as well. Like it was a very strong bacteria, and usually I can overcome something, but this thing, we were like fighting, and the more stuff I would do, it would just keep coming back. I think I'm gonna unplug my thing. Oh, look how dark it is. Oops, wrong plug. Hold on. I still don't like being around plugged in stuff. This doesn't really bother me much. But I don't like to keep my laptop plugged in, even though it's brighter, but EMF sensitive. I still am. I mean, I think all humans are, they just don't recognize it. So healing chronic illness, what else do we have? We have the emotions, we have the decision, you put everything into yourself, because your body, literally, I was in the forest. I did grounding in nature. It's one of the major things that healed me. And I was always craving nature too. Like now I don't really crave it. I love nature, but I don't feel like, oh, I need a nature, That was very extremely healing for me, the grounding energy, the electromagnetic field of the earth and the nature itself. Now they've done studies that say sounds of nature speed up the healing process, speed up the healing response by like 400 times. So I would just go spend all day in the forest. I had maybe thought before that I was, I'm an artist and I was working my career and, had to just put any of my ambitions on hold and just do whatever I could to be well. And also, whatever got in the way of that, like this one friend, he was always like, you're just good. I don't know, always just saying, wanting me to go out and do stuff and I couldn't. And, oh, you're so neurotic and this and that. And it's like, you know, just how to put that person aside too. I was just remembering one time in the winter, we were in a van with ice. We had gotten a ride somewhere, and the tire was spinning, and that tire was spinning was just about to kill me. I'm like, let me out of the car, let me out of the car. Anyway, I was always getting flack for, you know, needing what I needed. I need to get out of that car, and if people weren't going to stop, I had to yell until they stopped that car, and I got out. So I used to have a saying back then when I was sick. I would be like, it's either them or me, and I choose me. So it's like, you know what? I don't care if you think I'm a raving, you know, bitch. You think I'm crazy, whatever. I don't care. I'm getting out of this car right now because these spinning tires, the burning rubber wasn't really making me sick. It filled up in the van. It's awful. So healing an incurable illness. I mean, you know what I would do if I had any incurable illness, which you just Google. Go on Earth Clinic. It's one of my favorites because they're not really selling anything, and it's been around a long time. It's this huge database, and people put things that they tried and how it worked. So it's one of my favorites. A lot of times, like nowadays, everybody's selling a product or a program or whatever, including myself. But, you know, sometimes they're like, this is the thing, you're going to get well, you know. I mean, maybe not. It might be one of the things that helps you get well. I tend to feel like it's a whole bunch of things together. I'm going to plug my computer back on because I think it has a stronger camera. What else is good for healing chronic illness? Coffee enemas. I have some videos. Check through my list. And I have two. I have one funny one where I'm smoking a cigarette in the beginning, but it's a fake cigarette. People would get very angry about that. You just get angry because I was wearing makeup. They're like, oh. Now they have so much natural makeup. And let's see what else. So you're gonna chronic illness. I think that's probably enough for now. Detoxing. I forgot detoxing, which was actually the title. So detoxing, amazing. Almost any illness nowadays, I do believe also, is very related with toxins. Like you can detox and a huge amount of chronic illnesses are going to really, you're going to get weller faster or become completely well. And this even includes diabetes. There's like a lot of chemical implications in diabetes. So if we have like 500, 1,000 toxins in our bodies from chemicals that we're using every day, you know, and our body has to deal with every single toxin, like that's going to clog up the body, and it's going to use the body's normal detoxing capabilities to just try to deal with all these toxins. So definitely need to detox. You need to create like an environment in your home that's non-toxic, especially. The best way that I say to detox is to not intox. And that means to stop using your chemical shampoo, stop using your laundry detergent, stop cleaning your house with toxic stuff. And so people are like, how do we do that? But you know what? Now there's non-toxic everything. I have a shop. You can click on my shop. You know, the products change a lot. I'm not always going and fixing it much because Amazon really doesn't get any money. Very cheap. You know, it's just, and then sometimes the product that I put on there will not be there, but you can get some of the basics. And of course, it depends on how chemical sensitive you are. Of course, some people cannot do essential oils, some people, but if you're just using regular stuff, if you just change your shampoo, you know, all that 24/7, you're breathing that into your lungs, going right into your bloodstream, and also it's touching, you know, your skin, going right into your bloodstream. Same with laundry detergent, which you're sleeping on your pillow, all of your clothes, that's 24/7. That's one of my biggest detox tips. Like, how hard is that? You just change your laundry detergent. You pay $1 more. And maybe $2. But if you don't have $2 more, you can just wash your clothes with baking soda. You know what? Sometimes I just wash my clothes with dish soap. I have like organic, non-toxic dish soap. I personally believe soap is soap, but I'm not that picky about this kind of thing. How else to detox? Coffee enemas are amazing. Lemons are amazing. All kinds of herbs. The more herbs you can put in your diet, I mean, they almost all have antiviral, anti-parasite, antibacterial, and detox properties, especially rosemary. All of them do. Rosemary's a good one. Oregano's a great one. So, for thousands of years, people were using herbs they would pick out of their yard, and that was really keeping the body regulated. So now it's a little like we have to be more proactive because our natural food that we buy in a store is not freshly picked off of a bush. It's some nasty, hybridized, GMO, toxic stuff that's, been produced so it could sit on the shelf for a long time, even in Whole Foods. I'm not saying Whole Foods is so bad, but, it's not the same as your fresh oregano. I have some plants in the window. They all died, so I have to replace them. But you can just buy them at Trader Joe's or Whole Foods or anywhere. You just buy them and then put them in the pot. I have to put a light on mine because in that room, the kitchen, it's not that bright. And just try to, ingest natural plants. Actually, this Savila, what's that called? Aloe vera is amazing for healing the gut. I'm going back to the gut, as is this amazing stuff called slippery elm, which is very cheap. It's just a bark. So you can kind of put it in anything. It doesn't really have much of a taste. So when you go for your healing program, you can't do everything all at once. Like, it is a long process. And it depends on where you're starting from. I was mostly eating organic food. So, but I still had to clean stuff up, get cleaner food, never only eat a grass-fed organic stuff, only eat like certain, non-GMO. You can get GMO food at Whole Foods, like almost any corn or soy that's not organic is GMO. If it's organic, then it's non-GMO. We could have arguments because sometimes the GMOs sneak into the other food, but in general, you're going to be good. Wheatgrass juice is very detoxing. Eating any kind of colon cleansing like the psyllium husk and bentonite shakes, that's on my website, is good. First, you got to clean out the colon, little by little. So you got to get the bad stuff, out, get those probiotics, get in some psyllium, your fiber, your vegetable, your stuff. So it's cleaning through. Everyone should really have a clean intestines because otherwise a toxic mess in there. Frankly, this is disgusting. But so I've always eaten organic and healthy and especially, the last 10 years, very much. But when I would go into a public restroom and somebody else had recently done the number 2, it smells so disgusting. It does smell nothing real. It has a weird smell. You can tell when people are eating this processed and GMO and corn sugar and just a whole bunch of processed food. It doesn't smell the same. And it's definitely causing a lot of chronic illnesses, which is making a lot of trouble for a lot of people. And one reason why your doctor doesn't know this is because, for one, it's just not knowledge that's in the medical curriculum when they study. So they don't really know how to heal chronic illnesses. They might know some drugs. They might know a few things. Hopefully it's changing now. Mostly, our medicine is geared towards if you have an illness that a pill can cure, and almost no chronic illness has a cure. You can't take a medicine and cure it. You have to actually reverse your body to before it had it, and eliminate whatever was the cause. That's really the way to heal. So, But also most people, one, do not want to heal their chronic illness, because I know, because I've been doing wellness consulting forever, and I will find most people just have any little block, you know, like most people are like, well, I can't because of this, I can't because of that. So even if a doctor did know how to help you, most people are not going to listen or do it, so they're not going to bother. I notice most doctors, it's not really their area of expertise. They're great, you know, when you need them for other stuff. I love my doctor, Dr. Osario, because she actually listens to me and treats me like a human being. I love her. And although she didn't believe I had H. pylori, I had somebody else tell me. I was like, test me for it. So get your doctor to test you for it. If you have a pain anywhere in your gut, if you have pains anywhere in your gut, you really need to find out whatever is the cause of that and fix it. Don't just be like, oh, you have IBS, go home and have IBS forever. No, you heal those intestines. You heal and you find out what it is. A lot of times it could be food allergies. That's another component of healing a chronic illness. I never got around to it, but there's something called the elimination diet. But you could, at the very least, you could just take one thing out, like milk. But I think you have to really take it out for a few months. When I took wheat out, when I went to go back and eat wheat again, it hurt my stomach. That's why I never ate it again, and bloated me up. So clearly, I don't think I'm allergic to wheat. I think that is actually how our modern wheat reacts in the body. And some people say, oh, you know, dairy this, dairy that. I dairy. You know, I don't think you need to do a special kind of diet. You can try different diets, especially if your like intuition or your inclination tells you to do it. You can try different stuff. May or may not work. I eat what I eat. You know, I think bodies are all different. My neighbor down the way, she can eat anything. She's 95 and she can smoke and drink tons of wine. You know, if I drink like 2 glasses of wine, I'd be like, have a headache in the next day. So we're all different, and we need to find out like what our particular body wants. Those are a few things. Keep coming back. I got tons of, I'm going to be live streaming every day. Put your questions in the comments. Please make a comment. Please smash the likes. Please hit subscribe and share it with your people. You know what? A lot of people don't want to heal their chronic illness. So, you know, you can try to help them. And, you know, I just suggest, and if they don't take any bait, that I'm done, because they know where to find me, you know. But most people, they just get irritated because, you know, maybe they're getting a bunch of different advice from other people and they're just not interested. A lot of people, for whatever reason, that's their path, is to have this kind of illness. Wait, I want to show you my best device. I forgot. So I had this after I already got well, so I never thought, fuck, sorry. Pardon my French. I just like spilled over my tea. I was going to say Pau d'Arco tea is so amazing. When I was sick, I really craved it all the time. Follow your cravings, especially if they involve some kind of herb. This Pau d'Arco really kills a lot of, you know, bad organisms and viruses and stuff. But I just knocked over the whole thing. That's why I had to swear. I generally don't believe in swearing, but sometimes it comes out. So anyway, I have this red light device, which I was already well when I had it, although I did have a terrible concussion in February. And then majorly, I attribute it with majorly bringing my brain back online, because my brain was offline. But this device, it's good for your lymphatic system. It stimulates blood flow, which, you know, when your blood is flowing, you're detoxing your body. It's putting the oxygen is going in there in your blood through your heart and coming out and getting sucking up the carbon dioxide and toxins and cleaning your blood, you know. So it also puts energy in your body, this thing called ATP. And that means a lot of when we're sick, we're tired when we're sick. That's why sick people are laying in bed, not out running around like 5-year-olds. So it's because we don't have energy. So our body is using all that energy to heal. But this amazing device actually puts energy into your body, which is ATP, which is the same as the energy that we get from our food. It's FDA approved. It's been studied for more than 30 years by Harvard and NIH. If you click on my link, it's my first link because it's my favorite thing. And it is like an affiliate link. They have a little tiny ones now. I have the big one. I do try to do yoga, meditation in front of it every day. It also heals depression, which is a chronic illness. If you're chronically depressed, it's just a mood-related illness, but I believe it's as much physical as it is mental. Because if you got a lot of energy, you're not depressed. You ever see a little kid depressed? Like, you would have to be really... Generally, if you're depressed, also you're not digesting. You got all these other issues that go along with kind of any incurable illness. But it is curable. I had a several decades long dysthymic depression, which I cured. So anyway, red light is amazing. Check it out. Click the link. It kind of does everything. It's good for athletic performance, muscle recovery. Men use it like Viagra. It's great for your sperm count. It's good for the ladies, good for fertility. Everything that's good for fertility is good for your body, because that's our body in our most natural, amazing state. It's fertile, it's alive, it's energetic, it's happy. So this machine does all of that for you. I use it with grounding pad because it is a lot of electricity. All right, I'm gonna go. Thank you for coming. Don't forget to smash those likes. And if you want to do like private coaching with me, I am available for that. Just my email is in there and my phone number. Yeah, call my phone number. It's in there. You can call or text. I prefer texting, but if you really, you know, got some reason why you can't text, call. All right, everybody. I want everyone to get well. It's a healing revolution on the internet now. Thank you, coronavirus, because now we're all streaming. We're all getting our internet game on. So I have all this knowledge that I've had for years and years that I just want to help people to get well and to live, be happy, and all of that. And you know, when you cured your own incurable illness and more than one, you know, it's great knowledge, and you just want to let people know, hey, it's not like you have to go home and die. Like, no, that is not true at all. No matter what you have. I mean, if you have that spark to live, you can live. If you don't really care, I don't know. Maybe it's, you know, a blessing in another way. Either way, it's all going to be all right. All right. Thank you again. I have a hard time hanging up because it's like, I need some kind of ending mantra or something. Go out there, eat your vegetables. Ciao.